right, hello OAS family. It's time for another book review, and today we're reviewing a very exciting book called Drawing Trees. And this book is pretty unique in that it takes a fairly narrow focus. I mean, trees are not often isolated as a subject unto themselves, although there's no reason that they shouldn't be because they are amazing and quite worthy of being the feature of any painting. But you'll see the benefit of that narrow focus as we get into the book. So before we get into it, the details are as follows. The book is approximately 8¼ inches wide by 11¾ inches high. That's a very popular size. It has approximately 117 pages of content, and the book has directions in both Chinese and English. And the author is Ho, and it is published by the Art Book Company. So as we get into this, we're going to see very quickly why this is an exceptional book. All right, so first this section here, because it talks about stroke techniques in Chinese painting, not only in drawing trees, but in general. And this is information that is actually pretty rare to find people to describe. So just these couple sections in itself, where they're talking about the stroke technique and they're talking in detail about how to load the brush and these exercises about how to load the brush properly and then to paint to check to see if you loaded the brush properly. These are super valuable and are fundamental techniques, and if you have not been introduced to them or mastered them or practiced them, they will change your painting for the better if you understand them. And they're quite simple techniques, but they need to be explained to be understood. So this is all just sections like that are talking about general stroke techniques and how they're applied to tree painting in particular, but they apply to sort of everything. All right, so now they get into sort of tree trunks. And look at how much detail they have here of all these different types of textures that you can use when you render trunks. Scale-like texture and slant-like texture, all these different motifs that you see in these Chinese paintings, and these are given sort of pretty clear terminology and pretty good descriptions on the techniques that are used to render them. Now we're talking about the trunks in this boneless style. So less emphasis on line work here, or on detailed line work. And then here are, again, various methods for painting the tree trunks. Now we get into the details a little bit of the branches. Different types of branches. This is like a staghorn branch. And this is something that I haven't seen in any other book except my father's books, which is like common mistakes. So here's an example of the staghorn branch in the context of a bigger tree. And then what they call advanced practices of this staghorn branch. Now we're getting into roots. Already just a tremendous amount of detail, and we're just talking trunks and roots right now. Now we're getting into leaves. All the various shapes of leaves and the way to render, like these pepper dots and the cypress leaf, plum blossom dot, chrysanthemum dot. These different sort of shapes that are modeled after calligraphy. It just continues. The Cedrella odorata. Same thing with the split brush. These horizontal and curved dot techniques. The willow leaves, drooping dots, me dots, triangular dots, pine needles. Look at this library of tree leaves. Each one with an example. And then this is the sort of outlined leaves. So similar, but done just in the outline style. And now we're getting into the trees in composition. What it's like when you paint a group. What about painting just a single one? Again, in the outline style and the boneless style. So this is just like a pair of trees. And what it's like to do this pair of trees in this outline style. And then in the boneless style. What about if you mix the two styles? Do something in the foreground as boneless and in the background as outline. And then just the opposite, foreground being outline, background being boneless. And this is a group of trees as a major composition element. So the trunk and branch work here on the left-hand side, and then filled in with the leaves on the right-hand side. And then grouping trees of different types, a sort of mixed forest kind of idea. Trees growing on a cliff. And then this section is on pine trees in particular, because they're so important for Chinese landscape painting. So the pine branches, the root and the trunk, and the needles. There's a more detailed section on the cypress tree. And the willow. These are all iconic trees in Chinese painting, and all of them have such a different feel. Strength and elegance of the pine, and the strength of the cypress, and the grace of the willow tree. This is poplar. And now we get into examples where they show these different trees in compositions. Bamboo, not to be forgotten. This is kind of cool because there's not a lot of pieces that focus on bamboo sort of in like more far away views, like as more like an element in a landscape, done smaller rather than being so up close as a feature unto itself. So if you enjoy painting bamboo and want to do something different, it's really nice to be able to do these sort of styles of paintings that feature bamboo, but in more like bamboo forests as elements in different styles of painting. So this section just talks about vines. This is fir and Chinese juniper. Done in both the boneless style and the outline style. This is focus on the banyan tree. This is coconut tree and plantain. This is banana trees. And then this talks about techniques for perspective, like how to paint them in the middle ground and in the background, how to show them in distance, how to show them in fog, and how to show them during and after rain. And this is a section on the seasons. So this is spring here. And we're getting into summer depictions. And autumn. This is sort of early autumn and late autumn. Winter. So this is different weather, wind, sun, rain, and snow. Idea of trees in the mist. And the snow. So that's it. Once again, we hope that you enjoyed this book review. This is Drawing Trees by Ho, and you can find it on our website at orientalartsupply.com. It's a really, really useful book. And we hope you enjoyed this book review. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. And we wish you happy painting.